Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Lesia the Preacha-OK. Well, this reading is a current energy check. That's it, just current energy. Let's see if I can burn a little sage here. Let me crack my window. Let me see. Crack my window. Hold on. Okay, just crack the window a little bit there as I light my sage. So how are you guys doing? I hope you're doing okay. Hold on. Get myself fixed up here. I'm moving stuff around. Hold on. Trying to get stuff back like I had it. Okay, let's see. This will help. Okay. Alright, guys. Sorry about all that movement. I usually have things situated before I get started, but, well. God is great and greatly to be praised. Ooh-wee. I tell you, my twin flames out here are going through some stuff. The whole Will and Jada thing, I tell you, oh my Lord. Ooh, so many different opinions and things, and I'll just go ahead and tell you guys what I think. Of course, it's not a good thing to go around hitting people, okay? Of course, that's not good. You know what I mean? But I do believe that a man has the right to defend his wife. And I do believe that wherever the dirty deed go down, that's where you take it up at. You know? You know, I mean, it is what it is. Just amazing. But just everything is blowing up right now. You know, I mean, you know, we have a war on the land of the earth. There's a war broke out. There's a lot of just confusion and, you know, all the stuff that the Bible talk about. All that stuff is happening. And you may say, oh, it's always been happening. True, true. But there are times on the time scale, history line, there are times over the generations where things heighten or increase. And I believe that we, you and me, we are living during such a time where we're having a heightened experience of things talked about in the Bible. It's more than just, you know, a rumor of war. There's a war. At least that's what they tell us. That's what the TV cameras and stuff tell us, that there's a war in Ukraine. You know what I mean? Russia, between those two. And they show us images on TV and stuff to support that. So that's all we have to go by, is what we're being shown on TV. So, you know. And, you know, just the typical gender wars, you know. But it's I've been around for 52 years, and when I was a child, of course, I probably couldn't see the adult issues going on, you know, but there were things I could see, you know, and then just based on the music, the things I observed during my childhood, you know, teens and 20s and 30s and stuff. In my lifetime, I have never seen, felt, or experienced the gender war the way it is now. I mean, it's really heightened now. And Will, and Jada's experience. Is that pig Latin trying to come out of me? Pig Latin. Getting these letters mixed up. But anyway. But yeah, Will and Jada sit smack dead right in the middle of everything. Their relationship, ironically, touches almost every real issue that any married couple could possibly experience, you know, on the planet, you know what I'm saying? Their relationship, you know, it's just very significant during this time. You know, very significant. But, you know, should people, you know, be fighting in general? No, people don't need to be fighting in general, hitting each other and all that in general. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, we find reasons to do it. We find reasons to hit people, hurt people, or whatever, you know. It's interesting. Responsibility comes out. Responsibility comes out, you know. So, did Chris Rock deserve to be hit? I really can't comment on that. But I just know that things do need to change. Things need to change. Things need to change with comedy. Things need to change with how men perceive their wives. You know, there's just so much needs to be changed. And we just need to be responsible. We all need to be responsible. You know, Chris needs to be responsible for what comes out of his mouth. Will needs to be responsible for how he conducts himself. Jada needs to be responsible for how she conducts herself. Everyone takes a part in being responsible to avoid what happened at the Oscars. We all need to take responsibility for our own selves, our own actions, so that things like that won't happen. You know, being responsible, taking responsibility. It's very important. Take responsibility for your own happiness. Whew. So again, yeah, I think that men have the right to defend themselves and their wives and families. Yeah, they have the right. And they have the right to do it wherever the violation, the crime occur. You know, yeah, it was a joke, a bad joke, and yeah, Will went up there and smacked him. Okay. Okay. That's all I can say. You know, everyone just take responsibility for how they contributed to what happened. Just be responsible. Just like us, you know, we have to be responsible too, so do they. Future energy, light of hope. Because for being responsible right now is current energy, light of hope. Hope gives us positive feelings and energy to accomplish what we desire. I am hopeful. I am hopeful that all that we're going through means something and leads to something. I'm hopeful. Even the war that we're going through, even, you know, the you know, the physical war as far as like fighting, you know, Ukraine and Russia, that type of war. Also, gender war, you know. Also, there's just like in this whole manosphere thing, I think I'm saying it right. Manosphere, that whole manosphere thing. Ooh, there's just so much going on in this world. So much going on. Heaven's messages. Heaven's messages. Your loved ones in heaven want you to know that they are safe, protected, and reunited with family and friends. Okay. Sometimes I link this card also, like ancestors, yeah. Your loved ones, ancestors, you know. I believe that when we pass, that this physical skin of ours, it goes back to the dust, the earth where it came from. We come from two different places. We come from this earth as far as our skin, our physical bodies and stuff, goes. And then we come from the breath of life from God. We all have the breath of life blown into us. Just like it's described in the Bible. If we're going to use the Bible I use the Bible as a basis because it's a universal tool. It's something that, a lot of people have access to some type of knowledge of, even if people interpret it differently, it's still something that's universally referenced. So I think it's worth a worthy tool to keep people on the same page, or in the same book or something, or just to be consistent with whatever you're talking about, be able to explain in greater detail, you know. So I'm using Mystic Beauty's Easy Tarot cards. And I think I may have mentioned that I'm in her self-love Facebook group. And I'm so happy to be in Mystic Beauty's self-love Facebook group, guys. And I have her cards. I actually use her cards in my readings. That is so cool. It's just the little things in life that, keeps me smiling and excited about stuff. Okay, so these cards decide to jump all out, so I'm going to use them. Okay, as far as being responsible goes, current energy being responsible, take responsibility for your own happiness. Okay, in order to do that, here we go. 5 of Wands energy. Actually, 5 of Wands come out so much in these readings. I do not understand how that can be. 5 of Wands. You got to take responsibility for conflicts, for petty conflicts, bickering, irritability, conflict, differing priorities, opposition, competition. We have to be responsible, take responsibility for our actions. For our actions, we got to take responsibility. Just like Will, he's going to have to, there's going to have to be some type of consequence. Positive ones and negative ones that come out of this. That's called, that 5 of Wands. I mean, slapping somebody because they said a bad joke. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a horrible joke. It was. I really believe it was a horrible one. But at the same time, I would love to take up Chris Rock's challenge for Jada to do a G.I. Jane Part 2. I think it's a great idea. And I believe she would do a great job and get an Oscar. Again, taking responsibility. You know, that's the best thing that could come out of this, is that Jada actually do a movie, G.I. Jane, and get an Oscar for it. It says Seven of Pentacles is next. It's only 3 cards. It looked like a lot. Seven of Pentacles. Consistent effort leads to success results from past efforts. Profit, sudden gain, investment, taking stock, milestone. Yeah, this is definitely an opportunity for both Will and Jada and Chris. All three of this is an opportunity for all 3 of them to, you know, just reflect, reevaluate their lives. This is a chance for Chris to come up with better jokes. He needs to change his style, because obviously he's just not funny anymore. Will Smith needs to take a look at his life and address why he allowed himself to respond the way he did. And people claim that Jada, you know, should have did something or whatever. What can she do? You can't stop grown men from fighting. I don't know what woman should be doing that. You can't. They grown men. Lovers. Yeah, we have to take responsibility for the love that we have for ourselves, for our spouses. Being married ain't no joke. Being married is a serious thing. We have to be responsible for the love in our life, the love that we give and the love that we receive. Yeah, and sometimes you got to be ready to fight for your love, you know, to keep it, to maintain it, to protect it, to honor it, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, Will needs to take a really long, hard look at himself and address why did he respond that way. He had the right to defend his wife, I agree. But the way he did it, he may need to just dig deep in that. Dig deep in that. Because again, at the end of the day, it's just not, it's not the best move to make, to be physically harmful to someone. It's not the best decision to do, but a man has a right to defend his wife. That's all I can really say about that. Okay. Again, just taking responsibility for the conflicts that come your way, being able to take inventory and assess the situation, and, you know, being responsible for the love in your life, you know, the love for yourself and the love you display to others. And under light of hope, we have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. And it says lack of teamwork, disregard for skills, mediocrity, skill, shortage, poor performance. So, you know, wherever there's lack in our lives, my life, your life, Will and Jada's life, wherever there is lack, wherever there is some type of conflict or issue, wherever it is, there's hope. Like I said, there is. I mean, like, this is not what happened at the Oscars. Will slapping Chris Rock. It's not the end of the damn world. It's not the end of the damn world. However, it does set some shit off. It does set some things off, and where there has been a lack, conflict, issues, or whatever in the past, whatever was going on in the past, if there's hope. Like I said, I mean, maybe Jada should go ahead and consider take him up on the challenge. Yeah, he was meaning and intending to, you know, demean her. He was trying to, poke fun, whatever. He used poor taste or whatever. But sometimes you can take something that's meant for evil, and God can change that thing around and use it for good, for real, for real. Eight of Swords is coming in reverse, and this is concerning heaven's messages. Maybe our ancestors who, because see, our ancestors, some of them are in their graves. They're in their graves. This flesh part of them are in their graves, tombs, or whatever on this earth. So their influence is still here. Now, there are people who would tell you that, because a person is, quote unquote dead, like their flesh has gone back to the earth. But the earth is alive. The earth isn't dead. The earth is alive. So just because these physical bodies, the breath of life leaves it. The breath of life leaves these bodies. These bodies go back to the earth. The earth is a living thing. So we just go back to the earth. Our mother. Our mother. We go back to our mother. When our father leaves us, when the breath of life leaves us, our nostrils, we just go back to our mother, earth, until the resurrection. And I'll talk about the resurrection one day. I'm still kind of, I've been learning, I've heard about the resurrection, have learned stuff about it my whole life. But now I'm at the point where I'm really trying to, put some structure on it. Not that a lot of stuff can't have real structure, but, we can try. That's all we're doing is just trying. And so, Eight of Swords, it says, open to new perspective, release and freedom, knowing the way forward. So I want to say that we are challenged to be responsible. We are challenged to deal with our conflicts. We are challenged to take inventory of our lives, our love lives. We are challenged to do so because it's time for us to have a new perspective. It's almost as if it's not so much the slap. It's not so much the slap itself, okay? But it's more so the situation is creating an opportunity. It's almost like it's destined for that moment. Not so much the slap itself, but just the whole overall experience is intended to release and free us some kind of way. so we can move forward. That's why it's not just some kind of way. It happens so to put us all in a position to deal with real issues. The complex was really going on. It's really time for people to take a closer look at their lives. Like I said, the whole manosphere thing, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm like, I kind of have a loss for words when it comes to the whole manosphere thing. It really gets interesting. That's all I can say. Under Light of Hope and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Also, the King of Wands in reverse comes out. The King of Wands in reverse. So, like I said, I mean, you know, despite the challenges of the past, of all the, I don't know, I'm just going to say what comes to me. Despite all the challenges of the past, you know, maybe the running around, horn around, horn around, running around, horn around, you know, you know, the disagreements, you know, just the challenges, you know, just not being able to, you know, see eye to eye, going through periods of separation, some people threatening to divorce, just not being, you know, on the same team, you know, just, again, dealing with these conflicts, being able to weigh your options out at the end, despite, no matter what's gone on, no matter what Will and Jada has gone through, no matter what we are going through, no matter what this world is going through, there is still hope. There's still hope. There's still hope. It don't matter. We are all being released, and we're all being freed, and we're all challenged to have a new perspective. Yeah. And as we reflect on things, you know, we may be saddened. You know, when we really understand and take inventory and take a look at, you know, how things really are, how much things have changed from the past. Like I was trying to say earlier, I mean, I've been around for a long time, and I just don't remember life being like this for people, you know, couples and lovers, and I just don't remember it being quite like this. I remember some of the transitions. As I look back over the years, I can see some of the transitions, things being introduced and stuff like that, concepts. But now these things are like wildfire. How men and women interact, how we're so competitive, to the point now we're just flat out fighting. We just walk up to each other and hit each other now, men and women. Men and men, women and women, you know, just whatever. The pain, the loss, the grief, the regret, despair. You know, some things it just seem like you just can't get it back. You just, you know, you just can't seem to get it back. Some things are meant to be released and freed forever, and then, you know, Of course, there are some things that are worth recovering, but some things are just, some things you're going to recover. But as you reflect on some stuff, you'll develop the discernment, as to what needs to be kept and what needs to be left behind, done with, kind of thing. Okay, so let's follow up these few cards with some healing. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place. Let me just take a look at some of what we got here. So we got swords and cups here. So even though, our ancestors are not with us, and they're fine. They're not with us. They're just doing just fine. We're the ones that are here and need to be lifted up, encouraged. We need to endure. They've already, done their thing and have gone on. And we have the iguana, the iguana meaning communication for current energy, responsibility, communication, iguana. Yeah, I mean, the whole world is talking about, the whole world is just talking about love, really. Talking about love, the lack thereof. I think people are just, when the Bible talks about just wax cold, people are talking about love or the lack thereof because our hearts are just cold. We're cold-hearted people. And that's all we're hearing. That's all that's being communicated, about all this coldness, that manosphere thing, just cold-heartedness. When men have lost their use for a woman, things get really tough. It makes you have to reflect on the past. When the love is gone. I mean, maybe, all that we hear these days is, only thing being communicated is about how much love the world doesn't have. I mean, we're in a war. There's war on this land. So there's a lot of love that's just being held for hostage, There's just not enough love. There's just not enough love. Not enough love, too much temptation, too much doubt, conflicts. But the only way to benefit during this time of confusion, where it seems like it's just so much hate, women hate men, men hate women, kids hate parents, parents hate kids, you know what I'm saying? During this time, we still need to be responsible, though. Everybody have to save themselves, take responsibility for their own happiness. And you almost have to like do it in a way where you're determined to get some results. Determined to discern and know what to keep and know what to let go of. Boom. Yeah. And all this is, I mean, you know, communication is so important. I mean, it's like if you're not communicating properly, then it's a lack of responsibility. You have to communicate to be responsible. You gotta let people know what makes you happy or not. What makes you happy or not, you gotta let people know. You gotta communicate this stuff clearly. Because when you don't communicate clearly, then that's when the conflicts happen. Yeah. That's when all that Five of Wands energy is just like over the top. The love is just gone. And it just leaves you trying to figure things out. Sort through, use discernment. Salvage what's left. Amen to that. Thank you, Lord Jesus. And then we have the Raven card has come out. Raven, intelligence. So this is light of hope. The more we learn and understand, you know, we'll be able to accomplish what we desire. Well, let me look up the Raven. I think this is my first time pulling that card. I've pulled the communication iguana card before, but Raven intelligence? That's interesting. Page 87. I was born in class of 87. Yeah. Okay. So special message for Raven intelligence. Look at the Raven and use intelligence in this matter. It is important to learn as much as you can and then choose the path that is right for you. Okay, yeah. Light of hope, intelligence. Learn as much as you can. Because it says hope gives us positive feelings and energy to accomplish what we desire. Knowledge with understanding is the key. Knowledge with understanding, you know, kind of gives you wisdom about things. But we got to remember the Three of Pentacles came out. You know, in the past, maybe you haven't had enough support, weren't committed enough, you know, couldn't agree in the past, but you know, you've learned now, you've been able to use some discernment, and you know, of course, that lack of teamwork, you know, kind of the lack of teamwork came off as though your work was in vain. It looked like you were, you know, just focused on you, nobody else. Or, you know, it could be other people in your life, maybe not you personally, but the people around you, you know, were selfish, focusing on them, doing their thing, you know, building their wealth. You know, especially if you were in a relationship, with a King of Wands in reverse type of energy person, this person was just using you, basically. You know, enjoying you, having fun, and not really taking you serious. Running through you. Causing problems. You know, it says just being impulsive and hasty, ruthless, you know, power hungry, a double life, you know. Ooh-wee. Yeah, you know, Five of Wands energy in reverse can definitely cause some pain, loss, and grief, for sure. To the point where you need to release that burden, and be free from that stuff from the past. And your ancestors want you to stop crying and being upset about stuff that, you know, you just need to let go. That's what the ancestors are basically saying. You know, they want you to release the stuff that's holding you down and holding you back. And this King of Wands energy, you know, may still be lingering around in your life, and you're trying to figure out how to get this energy out of your life because it got you maybe feeling alone, even though you may have somebody in your bed. You may have somebody in your bed sometimes. They might be there. They may show up sometimes. They may show up sometimes. But you ain't happy. You ain't happy with a part-time lover. King of Wands with the Lover's card. King of Wands in reverse with the Lover's card. Somebody's dealing with a part-time lover. And they don't want to be dealing with that. So you gotta be hopeful and use your intelligence in order to clear out this type of single acting, freestyling, part-time lover that, you know, that's hot and cold. I don't be expecting to see this stuff. I don't even know how I do this. You know, how am I getting these stories out here? It just happens, but, you know. But in the past, you know, your ancestors, the Holy Spirit, God, all this energy, you know, has been working very sweetly to free you up, get you unstuck, you know. I know that lately I know I'm a lot better. I know in my mind that I'm a lot better. I know I am. I don't always feel it 24/7. I may feel it maybe like, what's half of 24? 12. 12 hours a day. You know, I may feel like I'm okay. Half the time. Half the time, I feel and know that I'm okay. There's other times I may not feel all that in a bag of chips, but I still know that I'm okay. So, because there's been a lot of work and productivity put in me being okay today. A lot of work has gone into stabilizing me because I was completely out of whack. I know I was. I had a lot of pain, loss, and grief. Some of you may know, you know, I was severely suicidal for a while. So a lot of work has gone into me, freeing up my mind, freeing up my life, freeing up my choices, my options, so that I could, you know, communicate better, be more responsible, love myself, you know, deal with my problems better, you know, deal with my problems. Use, even if I have the gift of discernment, you know, I still have to be in a position to, to be intelligent. you know, be hopeful, be intelligent, be smart, give up. I had to be willing to give up the King of Wands energy in my life. I had to give up the lack of commitment. I had to give up dealing with people who didn't appreciate my worth and my value. You gotta give it up. Sometimes you gotta stop hoping for stuff that you need to let go of. You know what I'm saying? Stop hoping for stuff that you know isn't right. Yet, know that there's light of hope. Hope for what you know is right. And stop hoping for stuff that you know isn't. Ooh, I'm glad we put that in there. You got to use your intelligence and discernment to know what's good for you and what's not good for you. And there are certain people who are just playing you in like a fool. Running in and out of your life and heart. And it's time to stop that. It's time to stop. All right, guys. That's my message. I think I will, just put one more angel message on this just to kind of end it that way. I just want one more angel message on Spirit. What angel message you're going to leave us with? So I believe that, Will and Jada will take this time to examine them own selves. Chris Rock, he will take time to examine himself. I don't think he's going to be going around insulting people anymore. Even though I think this particular insult really may need to be considered. For a second, it needs to be considered. Ooh, here we go. As I said that. Faith and values. Oh my God, look at God. Thank you, Jesus. When other people don't see your worth, know your worth, can't appreciate your gift, talents, purpose, and calling that God put on you, when people can't see it, appreciate it, even mock it, make fun of it, or whatever they do, you have faith in your own values. When I say there aren't many people in my life, and I've had hundreds of people come in and out of my life. A lot of them I have helped, and they've helped me. I've helped them, they've helped me. But I've had hundreds of people come in and out of my life. I can count on one hand. Easily, the amount of people that act like they know my value. They act like they know my worth. Like they have some idea, some clue. Out of hundreds of people, I can count on one hand. thank God I know my worth. I know my value. And I got faith in it. Your values are guiding principles. Use them to choose the way you live your life. Yeah. I believe we all make certain choices in our lives to yield certain results. And there are people that are going to come and go in our lives. And they may agree and they may not agree. And it's okay to be okay with that. As long as you're consistent, as long as I'm consistent, we're going to be okay. You know, no one is promised to us forever. We all have a beginning, middle, and end. On your best day, someone's living, someone's dying. On your best day. On your best day, someone may be coming into your life and leaving your life on your best day. Same thing for your worst day. Your best days and your worst days really consist of the same type of stuff. You know. But all right, but have faith in your values, guys. Have faith. This seems like a really heavy reading, but it's still very positive. It's still positive. And if you need a personal, reading in your life, you can email me at DrLesiaThePreacha at gmail.com. And I just want to point out, just be careful with this King of Wands energy causing problems in your life. Just be careful with that. Have faith in your values dealing with these King of Wands, whether it's women or men. The King of Wands in reverse energy can be male or female. But have faith in your values. You know you. You know you better than anybody else. And don't let nobody else try to convince you, of anything else. Be able to communicate effectively with people where, you get your point across, they get their point across. Some things you can consider what they say and other things you can't. And then likewise, there's things you're going to be able to say that they can consider, and there's going to be things that you say that they can't consider. For whatever reason. You know what I mean? All right. So if you've been blessed by this message, hit your girl's Cash App up, okay? $, Dr. Lesia the Preacha. Well, this is our current energy check reading for today. And somehow I was able to mix up Will, Jada, and Chris all up in here. But I relate to it. I relate to it too. Just fine. And, like I said, just to kind of sum up that whole thing with them, again, I don't think it's cool for 50-year-olds to be going around smacking each other up, especially at, award events and things like that, special events. But at the same time, a man has a right to defend his wife, and wherever somebody act up on your wife at, then they should be shook up. And if it happens to be the Oscars, oh well. I'm just saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, that's the way it is. I mean, Will and Jada has spent all these years in marriage, and nothing like this has ever necessarily come up that we're aware of. And, there's a first time for anything to happen. And I'm not mad at any of them. I'm not mad at Chris for being Chris. I'm not mad at Jada for being Jada. And I'm not mad at Will for being Will. but it is distasteful to, act out in certain ways, in certain venues. But hey, when life happens, it happens. And I don't think that we need to make a really big deal out of it. But at the same time, does some type of consequence need to come out of it? Of course. It should be positive and negative consequences come out of this situation, of course, as with anything else. It should. But I think that Jada should do the G.I. Jane Part 2 movie, and she should win an Oscar for doing it. Whatever Will has to deal with, he just has to deal with it. And I believe Chris, this is an opportunity for him to, come up with better jokes. His writers or whoever do them, they need to come up with something better. And Will, this isn't new that Will has slapped people. It may be new where it happened, but, it's not a new event, him slapping anyone. So whatever happened to him in the past for slapping some people, maybe it need to be something similar. I don't know, but, that part, whatever happens to Will because of the actual slap, I'm not really concerned about that, but I do pray that Chris will, tell better jokes in the future, and I pray that, Jada gets some type of movie deal out of this, and that Will has the opportunity to, just reflect and, endure whatever consequences, whether good or bad, come out of this. I think Will's a good guy. Not a perfect man, of course, and so again, I think he should experience any good consequences, and he should experience the bad ones too from this, situation, you know. And I'm just rambling, so yeah, that's it. I'm gonna cut off the video. You all be blessed. Love you. Bye.